We'll watch it on the screen instead. We got it dialed in a little bit better. Okay. This is the false apostle Ryan LeStrange. He's a self-proclaimed apostle. He's not an apostle. Just like I, just like these prophets, they're not prophets. But he has actually had beef with Tiphani Montgomery, which I found shocking. Who hasn't this girl got into it with? Let's listen to Ryan LeStrange.
First of all, I have never called a name directly on this platform. And I think if you followed me, yeah, Demetria, these church streets are brutal, man. If you follow me, you know that. There is precedence for that. The Apostle Paul did it in addressing false teaching. He wasn't really addressing character as much as he was teaching, though he wrote extensively about character as well. So this is not something I've done. I didn't want to come out in defense. I didn't want to come out with blame placing. I said something that was not well received by another party and their followers, and then boom, there you go. The blow up with the prophetess. The first thing I did is I went to that person directly. I wrote on the post they were making, hey, I've texted you. And I went to them directly. I not only went to them alone, I went to them with another minister, a fellow minister friend that knows both of us, so that we could have a conversation. We had a conversation, and that didn't stop. The post kept coming. All of what happened around the post and an individual was, in my mind, left within that conversation. I don't have anything else to say about that individual nor the conversation. That's between them and God.
There was a man that calls himself an apostle who put up a post, and the post.
How'd you like that? There was a man who calls himself an apostle. Whoa, low key, not even low key. Shots fired. Shots fired. He calls himself. Shots fired. He calls himself an apostle. Well, that's correct, because he's not.
Post said that if you have a leader that is saying that you don't need to be covered or held accountable, something like that, you may be following a witch. I'm bringing it up because he went live today. And he went live today because he wanted to share with you what was on his heart. And I don't believe that he still told the truth. And I think that if he, who has been saved longer than I have, they love to throw that in my face. They've been saved for 40 years. God bless. I'm happy for you. But if you were saved for 40 years, we should have the fruit in our lives that display that. If you would have just told them the truth, that I actually didn't criticize harshly, but you and I had a conversation last week with a witness. And in that conversation, I told you that you were subliminally talking about me since February, and you said you were. You admitted to it. You then said that you did not agree with my doctrine. And I said to you, I would be fine with that if just a week before, on February 3rd, I have the text message to prove that, which I have shown you all in a live video. If just on February 3rd, you invited me to speak at your conference. On February 3rd, you invited me to speak at your conference. And
this was sometime around September 2023. And I happen to know that Juanita Bynum went to one of Ryan LeStrange's conferences. So I just wonder if that's who he got to come in the absence of Tiphani Montgomery going. But let's go forward.
And a week later, because I didn't respond to your invitation, you began to subliminally do live videos about me. And I knew that it was about me. And you admitted that on the phone call with a third party, with a witness on the phone. So for you to go live today to share what's on your heart concerning the matter, I have an issue with that.
First of all, I have never called a name directly on this platform. And I think if